Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Friday night, just watched the Knicks lose. Even bigger gut punch, ended up going 2-4 instead of 3-3 on the night because Jalen Brunson hit 2 garbage time threes. That ruined a bet with a head-to-head that I had for Tyrese Halliburton. So a lot of stuff went under. Like I said, 2-4. Didn't end up too bad. Managed to sort of mitigate the damage there. Only about a unit, 0.2 down for the night. We'll look to pick it back up here on Saturday with this game that we're now looking at. We got the Mavs. They're back home trying to get this to the next round here against this Thunder squad who they don't seem like they'll go away. But if you're looking at me for a side or a total, I'm going under, I'm going Mavs. So let's get into the other 4 best bets that I have here from that game. Rinse and repeat. We're going back to a head-to-head rebound prop here, and it's with 2 guys that we've taken before in the same bet. Last time it was Gafford plus 1.5 versus Chet, meaning he needed to get one less. He needed to be within 2, basically, right? He was able to get a little bit of leeway there against Chet for some reason. Now we're at half a unit, and I still don't understand why it's at that. We're getting even money for Gafford to get one, to basically have the same amount of rebounds as Chet, or have more than him. And in 4 of the 5 games that they've played in this series, Gafford has had more rebounds, or he's covered this, and he's had more rebounds in 3. I should be more clear about that. The only loss that he had where he failed to cover this number versus Chet was in game 3 when he broke his pinky and missed probably about 10 to 12 minutes that he could have played in that game. Still came back and got his over in the points and rebounds. But yeah, he wasn't in there for the amount of minutes to really compete with Chet. In that one, Chet had 8, he had 5. Other than that, he's covered this every time. And even with the half a bet number here, Chet has had 18.3 rebound chances per game, getting less than 7 rebounds per game in that time. That's a 30%, 7% hit rate for your rebound chances to turning into rebounds. That's not good. I mean, the top players in the league are at about 62, 63%, but a good percentage is anywhere from 55 and up, right? And he's at 37. Gafford, 15.8 rebounds, 7.6 rebounds per game. So he's averaging more rebounds with only slightly fewer rebound chances and at a much better success rate pulling down those boards. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I've got to take it once more for Gafford to get either the same amount of rebounds as Chet or more than him, and we get plus 100 on our full unit. Lou against Dort, over 4.5 boards, minus 102 on FanDuel for a full unit for Lou to get 5 boards here. And what this comes down to for OKC, as I was just talking about Chet and how he has not been an effective rebounder in this series, the team knows that, first of all. So they have a really good rebounding team around Chet. Everybody at their position is very good as a rebounder, including Lou Dort, even Shai, even J-Dub, even Giddey when he's in there. The only one will be Isaiah Joe, who's going to be starting. But with Isaiah Joe in there and Giddey not in there, we're getting more rebound chances and more rebounds for Lou Dort because Isaiah Joe's not a rebounder and Giddey is a good rebounder and stands at like 6'10" or whatever, right? So he's a big guard forward with handles, but he's taking rebounds from Lou Dort. Dort has had a really good rebounding series and really a really good rebounding season overall. 7 rebounds per game in this one versus the Mavs right now. 15.5 rebound chances. And that's over the last 2. I should be more specific. In this series overall, he's at still about 11 to 12 rebound chances per game. So to get 5 feels a little bit disrespectful. He's always in really good position when he's guarding Luka. If Luka drives into the lane, which he does very frequently, it's either a 3, in which case Lou's still very available for rebounds because it's a long rebound if Luka misses most of the time, especially when he's shooting from like 31 feet away as he's wont to do. Then you've also got him going into the lane. And when Luka gets into the lane and is about anywhere from inside 12 feet and closer and putting up those bunnies, if he misses short, guess who's in perfect position to get the rebound? The dude who was just guarding him. So that's why when you look at the shot chart for Luka, it helps you understand why the guy guarding him would have so many rebound chances. And this is a point of emphasis because Chet has gotten dominated on the boards in this entire series. So guys like Lou and J-Dub and SGA, all 3 of them, I like their boards, honestly. But Lou has the lowest number here at 4.5 for minus 102. So we're going to take that for a full unit. Speaking of Isaiah Joe beating in the starting lineup, we're going to take him over 1.5 threes, also minus 102 on FanDuel for a full unit. He's in the starting lineup for Giddey. It didn't necessarily mean as much in game 4 before this last game 5 because he didn't play quite as many minutes. But in game 5, he did. He got all the way up to about 22 minutes in that game. And he's in there for Giddey to start, which means he's also a really good catch and shoot guy now for guys like SGA, right? Like his role is to be open in space when SGA drives and needs to kick out, which he needs to do pretty frequently in this series because the Mavs are collapsing all over him as soon as he gets into the lane. So with that in mind, that's going to leave shots for Isaiah Joe. It's partly by design from the Mavs. They do want Isaiah Joe to take his shot rather than have SGA take what has been an incredibly efficient shot for him all season in that mid-range. So it makes sense that like Joe will have those attempts, but I like him to go better than 2 for 8 like he did in the last game. Like that's not what you expect from someone who basically shot like 41%, like 40%, I think, from 3 on the season for Joe. And like, I know the playoffs things tighten up a little bit, but if you are going to start him, give him more minutes and use him as the relief for SGA when he gets into the lane and needs to find an outlet. And they're, emphasizing this with him and saying like, yo, we're encouraging you to shoot this shot. That's why he felt comfortable taking 8. Whereas in the prior games, he actually was a little bit more of a ball handler when he's on the floor with like J-Dub and Kason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, right? With Jalen Williams. That's when Isaiah Joe's a bit more of a point guard. But when he plays with the starters, like he got most of his minutes in this last game with them, now he's a really good catch and shoot guy, and that's where he's most effective. So we'll get him to get 2 threes in this one for basically even money. Final bet here, the man himself, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, over 6.5 assists, better than even money there. We get plus 102 on our money at DraftKings for that. I think this is disrespectful, to be honest, to leave it at 6.5, but then to give it plus money. Like I saw 6.5 and I thought, oh, this is probably going to be what, minus 130. They're giving us plus 102 for it. So I've got to go back to it because everything that I'm watching when I go back and watch these games, he's just got the same game plan every time. It's get into the lane. If you're not open because you got 2 to 3 guys now focused on you, somebody's open. And now you got your assist that way. He's driving even more than he was in the regular season there. You can see in the regular season, 23 drives per game, 9 passes on average in each game on those drives, which is about 38% of the time. In the playoffs, 3 more drives, 2 more passes off those drives. So a 43% pass rate, like I said, with higher volume. So you've got to like him to continue to have the potential assists. It's bare. I think one game he had like 13. Every other game he's had basically 14 to 16 potential assists, including this last game where he had 16 of them and got 8, right? And that's really the 50% hit rate on terms of your potential assists turning into regular assists. You can bank on that. Like that should happen for him. It's incredible that it happened alongside the Thunder having one of their worst shooting games of the whole season, going 10 for 40 from deep. And this is not a team that misses like that. They actually had the 4th best 3-point percentage on the season. So that's the outlier, is when they're shooting that poorly. I expect them to have some regression back to the positive. Maybe they don't shoot 40% from 3, but you've got to get over 30%. And that should give at least another 2-ish assists to Shai in this one. So I think he's good. Maybe you take him for a double-double if you like it as well. If you can get that for about plus 160, I think that's a good price for the SGA double-double. I've got him here for over 6.5 for a plus 102 on DraftKings. That is all the time that I have for you guys in this one. Going to be looking at the Sunday games as well. Have a live stream on Sunday. No live stream on Saturday, but we'll be coming back on Sunday. Quick reminder, LYB24. That's the code you can use on props.cash. If you don't yet have an account and you have been coming to those live streams, you know that's where we go ahead and use this as sort of the homepage for as we look at everything. It's got one-stop shop level stuff, right? Like you can really get most of what you need, maybe a few other sites here and there, but this is really what I use for the most part. So get in there if you want it for another month while we have this NBA season. I'll be back with you guys for Sunday. So until I see you then, happy betting.